Okay, let's get started. I hope my lights are on. Lucky. Okay, so today's agenda is like we are going to first talk about what is the software testing. I was just going through that only. What is the software testing and okay, so introduction to software testing. We are going to talk about automation, Maven. We are going to talk about levels of testing. Okay, and the life cycle plugins. Okay, so let's see how much I can cover. Okay, so what is exactly a software testing means and why exactly this domain is important? Is this domain going to survive for another, couple of years? What is the future? What is the growth? What you can do now, right? All those things we are going to discuss about. So software testing is like, so what is a software? Software is a piece of application that you are using. Like let's say you have to book a train ticket. What you are going to do, you are going on to the irctc.com and you are booking the train ticket. You are using a mobile application. That is this application is what? This is nothing but a software. That irctc website is nothing but what? A software for you. Now this software has, like, it's not that key, the software was developed by one person and given it to you for the usage. No, this software was developed by a bunch of engineers and QA'd by a couple of engineers, where the we test ki, nothing is breaking and everything is working fine. So let me share my screen. And now understand, whenever a software is built, okay, let's say what is a software, like let's say a mobile, let's talk about a mobile application. Now this is the mobile application, this was the mobile application which I was using. For example, let's say Facebook. Now, do you really think Facebook is only this is small, like one small 84 MB software? It is for you, of course, it is for you. But in the back end, it's like a whole big company, thousands of developer contributing towards the code, and that's how this Facebook is being developed, right? That is what Facebook is. That's what you're using. So that is a software. Now, when I say hundred and thousands of people are contributing towards the Facebook, which means there could be different understand. There could be different classes like this, for example, right? Thousands of classes. And let's say somebody sitting over here, he is a developer. He is working on this area. So his focus and his blast radius is around this only. So he is aware, okay, this is what I have changed, and let's say this change can impact this file and this file. But he is not aware like what other files or what other areas can be impacted because of his code. That's where this QA role comes into picture. Now, if something is impacting, let's say he added a new feature, but it was impacting something on the other class, because of which some functionality started to getting break. Now what will happen? Who is going to identify this? This is the QA whose job is to identify these things, and this is nothing called as bug. Now, the in the layman language, what we do, we test the application. But is that it for a role? Like maybe it sounds okay, there is a software where a lot of hard work people did to actually do the development, and then one fine day, like we give it to a QA did some testing, a role of a tester is over. Give me the bug, your job is over. No, it does not work that way. Role of a tester does not stop over here. We have to make sure that now we are into an era where customer needs a quality product, and we are no longer a traditional QA who are doing the manual testing. We are beyond that. Now, what is manual testing? What is automation testing? How we do, what we do, I will talk about it. But before that, I wanted to talk about what is the scope of this particular domain. What all exactly we basically do in this domain. So in a company like Fang Mang, I'm only going to refer the big companies and what kind of work we do over here. We actually think like a developer and a product manager and a customer, and then we work onto a product. Now, what is the future for as a QA? Now, again, there is a QA engineer who is working in a Fang company. He is at a package of 6 lakh rupees. There is a Fang QA engineer who is working at a package of 20 lakh rupees, and there is a QA engineer who is working at a package of 40 lakh rupees, and there is a QA engineer who is getting 70 lakh rupees per annum. What exactly he is bringing on the table, right? I'm pretty sure it is not just about finding the bugs, and for sure they are not paying him for that. It is beyond that, right? How you are streamlining or coming up with a process, setting up the ecosystem for a better or for the best quality product that you want to deliver. Now the customers that we are dealing with, they're very impatient. Are you going to use, let's say for example, phone pay? If it is not working, you're going to switch to Amazon Pay or you're going to switch to Google Pay. That's what you're going to do, right? Let's say if the tutorialspoint.com whiteboard is not working, I will immediately look for some other whiteboard and I will jump onto that. I will not waste my time fixing or doing a restart for the tutorialpoint.com. So if we are dropping a customer, our customer is getting dropped over here, right? So we have to be very careful with what kind of quality we are actually delivering to our end customer. So again, now from where it is start, how it goes, let me talk about the STLC life cycle, how it actually works. So whenever we work on a product, right, that product requirement comes from a product manager, or in some organizations we have business analyst. Now they come up with a requirement and they discuss it with the senior SDEs, SDMs, and then they finalize okay, what all P0 items we are going to deliver it to our end customers. Now, once this list is finalized, right, senior SDE is loop. Basically, he takes care of all the how the product is going to be designed. So the high level design, the low level design, all these things are being created. Now, at the same time, senior QA engineers are also prompted. Now, what they create, we actually create the test plan. What is a test plan? In brief, test plan is going to contain everything about the product that we are going to test, how we are going to test, when we are going to test, what is the test data, what are the dependencies, what are the mitigation plan, what is the strategy, what all kind of testing I am going to do. Everything is going to be a part of my test plan. That is what I am going to do when I am actually referring this. Now, okay. Now, test plan is ready. So let's say requirement came over here at this page. Uh, we started with the test planning. Over here, developer gave me the build. He said, okay, start with the QA. And this is where I start doing the testing. Now, what exactly I am testing? I am executing the test cases. What are test cases? Test cases are nothing like whatever we are going to test, we actually write it down. For example, verify uh, uh, tutorialspoint.com. Verify if I hit the URL of a tutorialpoint.com, whiteboard is loaded. This is my test case. Right. Similarly, I will write hundreds of test cases which I am defining, which I am actually defining before a build drop. Now, sir, without even seeing a product, how you are writing the test cases, how you know how it is going to look like. We get a design for the same. We get a design how our product is exactly going to look like. Now, basis on that design, we actually define the set of test cases, what exactly we are going to test, how we are going to test. Right now, for example, when everything is in place and the build is dropped, we start with the testing. Now, let's say we got a bug and over here. Now, what will happen? Again, if there is a bug, developer will fix it, again give the build, we will again do the testing. And then once the testing is done, we provide the sign off over here. and here the things are launched to the end customer. So once the QA provide the sign off, some internal testing is done by the stakeholders or the employees, and then we launch it to the end customer for their use. You would have seen Apple releases the beta versions of their OS. I don't know how many of you are aware of that, but basically Apple every OS it releases a beta version. Even Android also does that. They release a beta version for their beta user who have participated. They will actually give the bugs, they will give the feedback, and basis on that, they actually fix it. Now, moving on. I wrote the manual test cases. So this is a 1 hour session. I have to summarize everything. I won't go too much in detail of everything. I have to, talk about multiple things. I have to show you a small demo of how I will do a small automation exactly, and I will show you how to do and what to do, and we will talk about it. Now, I wrote my test cases. I executed them manually. Means I am opening the browser, I am hitting the URL, I'm validating the stuff. This is the process that I'm actually doing. Now, just to save time, what I will do, I'm going to do the automation. Automation of what? Whatever I am doing manually has to be done by a code. And that is what automation means. Right? So I'm going to do the automation and I'm going to automate all the test cases. I'm going to automate all the test cases. Now, how I'm going to do that? I'm going to do that with the help of a language Java and a technology Selenium. And I'm going to create a Maven project. Now, what is Selenium? What is Java? What is Maven project? Java is a programming language. What is Selenium? Basically, Selenium, there was one intelligent engineer who actually did all kind of complex logic. He had already written it and he had given us the code, and he's saying, okay, create a class, create the object of the classes that I'm giving, use the methods that are present to do your automation. Which means if I want to open the URL, I don't have to write the complex business logic to open the URL. Rather, what I have to do, I have to simply call that method. So I will say, let's say, hit there is a method called as get. Pass the URL. Now, this is a method. I just need to pass the URL. It will open the browser and it is going to do that. Now, let's try to see that piece of automation. Let me mark it as GfG Nation Building project. Now, whenever I'm doing this, I am selecting the archetype as Maven. Now, why am I choosing Maven? What is a Maven? I'm going to talk about it in another 15-20 minutes. Here, I'm going to take the Maven archetype quick start and I'm going to click on create. New window. Okay. Now, this is the how my folder structure is actually looking. Let me delete the default applications. And let me create a new package. Okay. Now, the new package over here is, let's say, day one. And under the day one, let me add a new Java class and let me call it as Selenium demo. Now, let me create a main method. I hope everybody is aware of what is a main method. So this does not cover the Java fundamentals. So it's a prerequisite for this class to at least know the Java fundamental. No, VS Code, you cannot write the Java program, right? I'm not sure. IntelliJ or Eclipse is the preferred ID. Now, I said that using a get method, I can actually, hit the browser. But how I can do, what I can do before that, let me explain you the architecture of a Selenium. Okay. This is very important. Now, Selenium follows client server architecture. Who is the client? Who is the server? What is happening? So we have a client. Sorry, we have a client and we have a server. And here we are with browser where our everything is going to be automated. So Selenium is used for web automation. Now the client is what? Client is the Java code that we are writing. That is the client. Who is the server? I would say Selenium is acting as a server. Basically, there is a driver which is going to interact with this Java code and it is going to perform things on the browser. So let's say I do open a browser. It will go open the browser again, come back, and it will ask what is the next step. Now, to use Selenium, I need to have Selenium dependency in my code, right? I already told you there is one intelligent guy who has written everything. He has written all kind of code. We just have to consume it. Now, how we are going to do that? The pom.xml file, I will go under the dependencies section. So this is the place where I'm going to add my project dependency. Now let me go back over here and let me say Selenium Java Maven dependency. I will tell you what is exactly happening. I will explain you that. Don't worry. So I will copy this dependency. Sir, you said lot of classes and object, but these are just 4 pretty lines of dependencies that you are adding. Give me 1 second. Just give me 1 second. Okay. Now let me. So what I did, I basically added a dependency, Selenium dependency into my package. And now is it it? I will click on this Maven part. I will open the project structure. The only dependency I have is of JUnit, which was already there. Now, what is JUnit? I'm not going to talk about it and it is not needed. Let me quickly reload this. Now, you see, the moment I reloaded, so many packages, and inside these packages, there are, these are the packages, and inside these packages, there are different classes. So we have the entire bunch of Selenium with me now. Now, what I can do, let's say I wanted to open it on a Chrome browser. So I'm going to say Chrome driver. import class. It is saying import the class. Okay, Chrome driver cd is equals to new Chrome driver. So what I did, I just created the object of the Chrome driver class. Now what is this? Let me name it as Chrome driver for your understanding. Now Chrome driver dot get. I told you there is a method, right? Now this method is going to do what? This is going to open this whiteboard. Now let me copy. Okay. Now if I run this piece of code, it is actually very interesting, and the scope of this domain is very huge. It is not just this, it is huge. Like we actually just don't automate the test cases, we automate the process. We build a ecosystem. We build a we the QA engineers can become a technical program manager, they can become a product manager, they can become a SDM, right? And their career trajectory is also great. Like it depends upon the QA. Most of the QA engineers are so scared that they don't take out or they don't step into the world of technology, or they think that it is beyond their uh, me beyond their ways. But it is not the case, right? It is not at all difficult, and you just have to be creative with your mindset. You have to think out of the box. Now what we just saw, it opened tutorialspoint.com for me, right? This is what it did. Now let me go back to the dependency section. Karthik, please don't do that. Please don't use the marker on the board. Now let me go back and let me remove this. Sir, you said that it will not work without dependency, but it is working. Why it is working? Because I have just removed it in my pom.xml file. I have to reload this now make sure whenever you are working with a Maven project, you have to make sure that you are connected with the internet. Now, if you see, I started getting an error over here. What is the error? If you read it over here, it says either create a class or create an interface. So it is saying that basically there is no class with the name of Chrome driver, or you add a Maven dependency. So I can directly do the add the Maven dependency, but let me do Control Z over here. Now I added it, but again the error is not gone. Why it is not gone? Because I have just added it in my pom.xml. I still have to get it from my internet, those dependencies. The moment these dependencies are in, I will minimize this, go back, error is gone, right? So what you understood, like now, what we did, we use pom.xml. Now let me talk about how these dependencies part are basically coming. So what is the role of a Maven, right? So there are two important roles, multiple things Maven can do, but two primary I will talk about. One is dependency management, and another one is creating build. So now what do I mean by these two? One, to you saw, I just added a dependency of Selenium and it added the dependency and it executed my code. We just saw that, right? What is the another one apart from this? What is a build basically? What exactly do when I say build? What exactly a build means, right? The dependencies are the dependencies are not according to the test cases. So the dependencies are with respect to the automation I'm talking about. The dependency that you are talking about could be the test case dependency, but that is a separate thing. The thing which I am talking is that now I have a test case and I want to automate that test case, and how I'm exactly going to do that, right? That is what a dependency means over here. Now, how exactly I'm going to automate this? What exactly I'm going to do, right? So I have created a Maven project. Now there is a gradle also in place, which is the again. So today you are learning Maven. Tomorrow somebody will walk in and you will say, "Do you know about gradle?" I'm not sure what is a gradle, right? But I know that it is similar to what is Maven. It is a build management tool. It is a dependency management tool. It is going to manage some of my dependency. Now, how exactly it works is whenever when I created a Maven project, I got pom.xml file created by default. And inside this XML file, I have added certain dependencies which I took from the internet. And you saw what I entered. I entered Selenium Java dependency. I got the dependency, the jar file, the dependency. It is basically the address. Okay, at this location, let me open and show it to you. At this particular location, right? This is the key. This is the value. This is the sub value. And this is what I want for my project. Now, what it will do, it will go Maven with the help of this. If we are connected to our internet, it will go on to this particular link. It will search for these dependency. It will download it on your machine. So what we do when we used to, you remember when we used to download anything, what happens? There is a link, download link. We click on it, the downloads get started. So similarly, what is happening? I'm giving the address that, okay, this is on that particular link. It is basically going to append these things and it is going to download me the dependency or the capabilities into my project structure. This is how it is defined. So the primary job of a Maven was the dependency management. Now, what is a build? When I say build, what is a build? Whenever we write a piece of code, or let's take an example, forget about the testing domain, forget about the automation world, let's talk about Facebook. Do you think Facebook is of 84 MB only or 100 MB only? No. In the real time, there is like big servers, like I think TBs and GBs, like, I don't know how many thousand TB or lakh TB code Facebook would be having. But the build that you are getting is of just 89 MB. So what exactly a build means? Compressing something into a small piece of file which can be executed on a certain operating system or a platform. Let's say you are using Android device. APK is the file that gets generated. .apk. If you are using iOS, .ipa is the file that gets generated. Now, what happens exactly? These are what? These are builds. I'm hitting tutorialpoint.com/whiteboard.html. This is what? This is a build. This is what build means, right? I'm using a build. There are different environments in which we do the testing, and in the different why we need to build the application. Why it's like why your name is Yash, or why Yash has a habit of eating or sleeping or walking. Uh, it's like that. Why you need an application? Why you need Facebook? Why you need WhatsApp? For what purpose you are using WhatsApp? For chatting with your friends and family, right? So why you need an application? Because that application is creating some impact in your life, right? You are using chat gpt mobile application. It is what? It is a mobile application where in the backend it is calling the chat gpt apis. Now why you are using it? To solve your problem, to love, for your learning, for your development, for your other stuffs. So for that, why, there is no exact answer, but yeah, applications are developed since the ages, and that's where the IT industry exists, right? Any questions, any doubt till now with respect to Maven, with respect to all these things? Anyone wants to ask anything? People who are present on the Zoom call and have any questions or any queries. If not, maybe I will just take an example and I will tell you how in the real time we actually do the testing. I will talk about a case study and then I will talk about the automation plan. Now, some levels of testings are there. We have, okay, we have some questions here. Yeah, you can say that. Correct. Yeah, you can do that. You can use Selenium Python dependency and you can definitely go ahead and automate it. Testing will perform on any language. Testing is not performed on a language. Using a language, we are automating the test cases, and that test cases is doing what? Whatever we were supposed to do manually, it is also going to automate that. That flow is going to be automated. Now, am I going to be a engineer who is going to just write the test case, okay, open tutorialpoint.com and that's it? No. Open tutorialpoint.com and verify what all things are present on the tutorialpoint.com. Let's say the title is present or not. Let's say the numbers are reflected or not. So all those things, validations I need to add. So my test case should not just, time saving, but it should also ensure that it is able to identify bugs. So that is the main purpose. Okay. So this agenda, the agenda of this, sir, could you guide me manual testing on the move from automation testing and how to write? Yeah, we will talk about it. Now, can you explain the flow of learning? Like, so see, again, this I don't, I'm not sure about the batch. This is basically Geeks for Geeks. This, your Nation Skillup session today. I'm really sorry. I just forget the name. So this is that session which is happening where we are kind of giving you a glimpse of what you can learn. We are trying to cover a lot of topics in a short interval of time, like in a hour or 45 minutes. We are going to communicate a lot of things. We are going to talk about a lot of things. And how the curriculum is going to look like is in the real curriculum, which is actually a 3 months curriculum, Saturday, Sunday classes. We start with Java, we talk about Java, we talk about manual testing, we talk about Selenium, we talk about TestNG, we talk about Cucumber, BTD, Git, GitHub, Jenkins pipeline, mobile testing, web automation, web testing, artificial intelligence, how you can use it, how exactly it is not just about writing a chatbot. Now the industry is moving toward a codeless automation. PDF and all, I think I will ask the team to share it with you guys. If you guys are enrolled with via some email, they will share it with me. Uh, Again, you can, if you have any queries, any concern post this class, you can reach out to the Geeks for Geeks team and they can even set up some, doubt clearing sessions with me where you can clear your doubts and I am happy to answer that. And you can enroll with GfG if you want to. You can ping me on LinkedIn if in case you are not getting support from GfG uh, members. You can let me know. I will just communicate it to the right person or the POC in the GfG. But GfG team is pretty active with the response, so you can always reach out to them. And yeah, so course curriculum is like this. So what is the whole ecosystem, right? We get a product, we do the manual testing. Now, before we think of an automation, when actually we do the automation, build is done. Do we start with the automation? No. It depends. Let's say there was some release where I know ki after this, in this particular area or in this particular code package, there is going to be no change for next 3 years. Am I going to do the automation for that? No. It is a one-timer testing. Why I even want to automate? Now I know ki every week they are adding a new feature or a new functionality and which can break my existing functionality. So what I can do in this case, automation will be useful. In this case, again, Do I want to automate the regression suite or do I want to automate the sanity suite? Right? I want to automate, let's say, the sanity suite. Now, what is regression? What is sanity? I wrote 100 test case for a feature. If somebody asks me, okay, there was a regression, can you go ahead and do the regression testing? Which means he is asking me to run all the 100 test cases again. Whereas the person is saying, can you go ahead and run the sanity? Which means go and do the high level testing to ensure end to end is working fine. That is what regression, that is what sanity is. Right. Now, testing are of different types. We have functional testing, we have non-functional testing. What is a functional testing of a tutorialspoint.com? Functional testing is if the back arrow is working fine, if the new page, we are able to create a new page. All these are nothing but what? These are the functional testing. What is a non-functional testing? Testing the functionality of the application is the functional testing. What is a non-functional testing? Non-functional testing means if I hit the URL, or let's say if 1000 people hit the URL at the same time, is the application going to crash or is it going to survive? That is what non-functional. So I'm going to do the stress testing, load testing, your privacy testing, your monkey testing, your uh, how to put it, the latency testing, right? Uh, and there are n numbers of other non-functional testing that we do. So what all non-functional testings, can be done depends upon your product, what is the requirement, what is the ask, right? And basis on that, we actually plan all kind of testing, like what all we are going to test. Any confusion, any doubt, any questions anyone have? We have time. Let's talk about it. Is Maven clear to everyone? Like what exactly is the purpose of Maven and what exactly is a build? Roadmap to be a QA engineer. I will be honest. QA is not just about writing the test case or even doing the automation. It is a mindset of how you can break the system, how you can make a seamless experience. What do you think? You guys use Google Pay. What do you think? That Google Pay, when you are using, right, when you are actually doing the payment, you get a seamless experience. You are using Amazon Pay, seamless experience. How that is happening? There are a bunch of engineers who are working day and night to break the system. Then there are engineers who are fixing that system, and that's how things are going into the production for you guys, right? So it is a mindset. It is like how you are actually thinking. So what is the roadmap? Have a good hold on the terminologies or the concept of manual and automation both. Get the real time project example. Now when I say real time, it does not mean ki, okay, I created a basic framework and I created a Java class, I had this automation that I saw you, sir, you showed me how to use the open a browser, now I am an automation engineer. No, it is beyond this. What all are the ways through which you can trigger your code, how you can build how you can exactly build this thing, uh, the automation framework which is scalable. Tomorrow I was automating a web application. Tomorrow I wanted to create, like, add a capability of a mobile automation. How I can do that? The only way I can do that is if I'm making or if I'm designing my framework in that way. How I can do a parallel execution, right? All these things actually matter. So the real time project, the real time case studies, to be very honest, the real time case studies are very important. People on the internet, it is flooded with selenium, it is flooded with manual testing, but nobody is talking about the real time case study. So unless and until you know how in the real time the entire ecosystem work, you are not going to actually you won't be able to actually fix it. You have to have the knowledge of the real time ecosystem, how things are working and how you are resolving them, right? What kind of problem statement? We have heard this. This is a very common thing, in FANG companies or in the MANG companies, they focus on the problem solving. What is this problem solving exactly? What problems we solve? We actually solve like I will not take a name of the project or anything, but I will put it in this way that in your mobile application, two applications are sitting. Let's say Facebook and Instagram. Now, Facebook is a subsidiary of Instagram. Now, these two are talking to each other when they are in the device. You cannot see that, but they're communicating with each other. Now, while they're communicating, they're fighting with each other and they're increasing the latency, which is actually crashing the application for some of the devices or for some of the operating systems. How you are going to catch such issues? This is the real time problem. What we can do to mitigate this real time, you know, things. So you have to think in that direction, and this is like the real time case studies, what we did, how we solved. All these things has to be, clear, and then only you can, uh, you know, be a great QA. So real time case study, if you know, you have given the mock interviews, you are done with the knowledge part, end to end ecosystem from automation, from manual testing to automation, from triggering it into the pipeline, utilizing the automation. So what are the aspects? Quality, manual testing, first step, automation testing, another step, utilizing that automation, third step, creating impact out of it, fourth step. This is the cycle in a layman language I have explained, but it is too in depth, like it is too deep. Sir, as a fresher 2025 graduate with no technical experience in coding and want to get a service based company, what should I learn and how much time? I will tell you one thing. Please don't just target service based. Why? You are a fresher, right? You have nothing to lose. Why you are thinking for a service base? Think for a product base. Why not Google? Why not Amazon? Why not Facebook? Why not Insta? Somebody thought, somebody gave the effort, somebody cracked it. Half of the people in India are demotivating their own self. They are giving up. Even I have done the same thing. You know, is it like if somebody would have asked me, told me that after 5 years you would be here at this position, I would have said no. He is kidding around with me. Not possible, yaar. I don't know that much. But now if somebody comes up and say ki, hey, what are the plans? The plans are big. How I got that confidence, right? You have to start believing in yourself. You just have to create a plan. Just there could be one difference amongst everybody of you who are watching me live on the YouTube, or you are watching me who are there with me on the Zoom. The only difference is that somebody can grab something in 2 months, somebody else can grab in another 5 months. That is the only change everyone can hold. But the person who can learn things from me in 3 months, and the person who is not consistent, on the other hand, there is a person who can learn in 5 months, but he's consistent. That 5 month guy is going to make it. That 2 month guy is going to get stuck. It's a game of consistency. Nitya, you have to time bound your career. What you want to be? A developer, full stack development. QA, SDET, full stack roadmap I have to follow. AIML, freshers, I do not suggest artificial intelligence, machine learning. Guys, understand first ki where chances of you getting placed are high. What exactly a full stack developer does? He develops an application. Somebody with a good coding skill can do it. Freshers will get the opportunity, right? What a QA engineer does, somebody who tests the application. Let's suppose you are not getting 20 lakh package in a product company, but you are getting a 9 lakh package. To a fresher, they give 8, 9 lakh rupees. They're giving you a 9, 10 lakh rupees package for testing. You can do it. But for a data science field, what is the work? The work is that you are going to deal with the data, and basis on that data, company is going to take business decision. Do you think company is going to give an opportunity to a fresher who is learning data science? No, not at all. You're going to be some analyst, and that too you are given certain things and you are just kind of using Excel, and you're not even going to use Hadoop in your career. I have seen multiple people. Understand where you can be. Now, if as a fresher, I think I want to become a CEO in Amazon. Not possible. Even if I go to Harvard, I will not become a CEO. Even if I go to Harvard, I will not become a CEO. I will start my journey with a product manager or a program manager or some manager role, and then I can become a CEO in 15, 20 years. But in a single day, just because I was from Harvard, I was from IIT, I will become SG3 in Amazon or Google or Facebook. No, you have to understand how this business work, how the game works. You don't have to, you have to think from 360 degree, and that is the best part with the QA domain. You get a chance to think from 360 degree. You work with product manager, you work with the everybody, tech to non-tech. Again, I am telling you one thing. I just got a question: what a fresher should learn to get a job? C, C++, Java? No, technology, full stack development, network engineer, cyber security. I have end-to-end knowledge. I have solved this live project, this real-time project. I have solved. Somebody coming up and telling that I have created a hospital management software. That code is from the internet that he has taken, and somebody who is coming up and saying there was a chai wala sitting beside my house. I have helped him to automate some of his work, and he is very happy. I'm more aligned towards that person. He's solving some real time problem rather than somebody picking up the code from uh, you know internet and showcasing and saying I created a hospital management tool, or I created weather detection, weather prediction, all these things. It depends like exactly where what you want to go, and basis on that you have to decide what you have to learn. Never restrict yourself with a language. Restrict yourself with the technology. Don't even restrict yourself with technology. Feel free to, like today I am open to learn cyber security. I am open to explore cyber security domain. I'm open to explore other domain. I don't have any issue. In the world of technology, if you are flexible, if you are open minded, and you are like a deadly combo who can work on anything, I think chances of you to survive the industry would be very high. Any other questions, any other doubt anyone is having? As a fresher, depends like where you want to be. Everybody is rushing for development. Try for SDET. Try for cyber security. Why you want to be a developer? Not and again, why you want to be a developer? That is also a big question. Why you want to be a developer? Why you want to be a QA engineer? Why you want to? You started with the development, but you're not enjoying your work. You're not having fun. If you have patience, you can sit for 18 long hours and do the coding. Development is the job for you. If you are interested toward product building in the initials of your career, QA is the domain for you. Go ahead, take a experience, and then transit into a product manager role. So you have to decide where you want to be in your career. No, does not matter. Career gap also does not matter. All that matters is the skills. To be very honest, when I get a resume, when somebody sitting in front of me in the interview, it actually it does not matter to me whether he is a year gap or a backlog. I had 18 backlogs during my college days. I'm a pass out from Graphic Era University, where on 21 or 22 back we get year back in second year. I was having 18. So am I not doing good enough? No, I think I'm doing pretty great. So it does not really matter ki where you are or what you are doing. All that matters is ki what kind of a skill set you hold and where you want to be in your career. Stay motivated, stay positive, read good books, surround yourself with the like-minded people who, I think that's a blessing. People who actually people who actually sits with the people who talks about ideas, who talks about growth, who talks about uh, inventions. I think those are they make something crazy, but usually people are not doing that. Think about ideas, talk about ideas, think about what to do. And trust me, it's easy, it's not difficult. Each and every one of you, I'm pretty sure, will be able to get the success. Not a big deal. Get the right learning, get yourself aligned with the recent, you know, technology. Even as a QA jet engineer, people who are into manual testing, they have, I see that now they are learning automation. Guys, we are reaching to the era of AI where we are doing the cloud testing. So you have to basically see that, we are basically doing the AI using the codeless testing we are doing. You have to upskill yourself fast now. Now have a good career, better knowledge, fall down or something, crisis. No technology is going to face that crisis except DevOps is what I feel. DevOps, I don't see much of the hiring going on from last 4 or 5 years in multiple companies. DevOps roles are eventually again. That is something. This cloud engineer, DevOps, these are something which anyone can do. It's not like a rocket science. We need cloud engineer, but do we need thousands of cloud engineer in a company? No. But developers will be needed. Quality would be needed. So these jobs are not going anywhere. AI is a blessing as of now. From my experience, I'm using AI since last 3 years. I'm doing a couple of things. I won't say that AI is going to replace human. No, not happening for another, at least for the QA domain or a development domain. I don't think it is happening for another 3 years, maybe. I don't know. After 3 years, what will happen? But it is in a learning mode. Even if that happens, we need somebody who are too good developer and too good on know how to, make AI done the work. How you can, ensure that AI is doing your work. How he is able to give the good best development code. How as a QA engineer I am committing the best quality. Now we will be getting more better quality products in future with the help of AI. But replacing humans, no. For now, at least in these domains, no. People are more focused towards other roles. Maybe it will impact us, but after 10 years, it's a long journey. Most of you would be doing something else by that time. Okay, cool. I think it was a lovely session with you all, and we'll meet next week again, and with a new set of quick topics, and we will, talk about it. If you guys are interested for any of the learning path or anything you want to know, ping me directly. Ping Geeks for Geeks. Talk to them. Uh, the team is there to support you or help you. Thank you. Have a